Alright, so we got the Enjoywood router lift and all the components that go with it. You got the insert plates and you got the crank handle, the bolts, the support plates here, 13 and 16 millimeter combination wrench, and then of course the screws right there that hold it all together. This is the template that we got to cut around to get this thing put in there. I've already got crosshairs in there lined up. I just got to go around, make a line in there so that I can cut it out with the jigsaw and come back with the router and get it closer to the shape that I want it so we can put this router lift in there. I got lines on here lined up with my crosshairs, so everything should be pretty well squared up. What I need to do is drill a couple holes in here and then stay just inside of this line when I cut this out with the jigsaw. Got a 27/64 bit for no particular reason other than I know it's big enough for the jigsaw blade to go into it. So the back of this has some 3M tape on here to stick it down to this. We're going to peel that up and see if we can't get this to stay in spot while we clean up the edge of this with the router. This is the router I'm using. It says trimmer. It's the cheapest one I can find on Amazon. I'm not going to recommend this until I get to use it for a while and see if it holds up for more than a minute. But we're going to see if we can't clean this up with it. This is sliding already. This might not have been a good choice for routers to... Let's try it again with a different bit and a different router, see if this will cut any better. Check our height there. I think we're good there. Alright, let's try this. Alright, so the hole's cut. This actually fits in there. I give it the test go. The problem I have right now is this is right at 1.5 inches thick. So this is the top of the plate. On the sides, you have these little mounts that go through with the bolt. And I have about 7/8 of an inch at best between where that hooks on the bottom of there and to the bottom of the plate. So I got to clean out the underside of these corners on all 4 corners. My plan is to get a Forstner bit, like an 1.5 inch Forstner bit, because these fit in the inside of the corner, and from the inside of the corner to the outside of that where it would go up inside was right at 1 inch. So I'm probably actually going to have a bigger, probably a 2-inch Forstner bit to cut back far enough to make it work. So I'm going to see if I can get that going. Alright, so I got the corner brackets in, and the 2 little screws in each one of those for leveling it up. I can't move it by hand, but I'm going to give it just a little bit more. Take no chances, I say. Alright. That ought to do. I'll put the cord down inside there. We'll start our bolts. Okay, it is in. I did have problems with the holes on these 2 lining up, so I cross-threaded them a little bit, so I got the tap and die out and redid the threads on them. Fortunately, I had metric tap and die set to my availability. But other than that, now that it's in, it works like it's supposed to. Goes all the way up. So you can bring that all the way up, change your bit, crank it all the way back down to your desired height. The nice thing is these are magnetic. The little screw things right here are magnetic, so these just sit in there, pop them in, pop them out. Comes with 3 different sizes there. So there's that, and now we need to get the guide for the back of it going in here. Pretty happy so far with this. I'll play with this here in a little bit more after I get this guide put in here, get that installed. So let's get that opened up. I haven't even opened it out of the box yet. In the box, we have a box. 5 boxes. There's actually paperwork with this one. The router lift, there was absolutely no paperwork at all, no instructions whatsoever. We got the guard. The main body of the guide. We got the Allen wrench, the guide, and the main body of this thing in this part right here. So track, got all the measurements on it. And some screws. And 3 screws, and you need 4. 1, 2, 3 screws. Good thing I have a whole wood shop here full of screws. Oh, hold on, here's a package of screws in the other piece. Give you 6 screws. I stand corrected. Down. 2 lock down. There's a stop for the one side to the other. Sliding stops. And those are the micro adjusters for the back, I think. So I'm guessing that's some kind of a warning in Chinese. And last but not least, connectors for the dust collection. Alright. Not really sure how that's supposed to work, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out later. Right now we got to figure out the track to get this thing nailed down. And that's going to be the hardest thing on this part. Figure out where we want our track system at. Alright, I've laid out where I want these. They're going to be out between these sets of holes here. Got a straight bar. And I just got it clamped on the end, at each end, down there and down there. I'm going to use a 1/2 inch bit in the router, 13 millimeters deep, so that's just a hair over 1/2 inch. I set this for 1.5 inches, so from here to the outside edge of my bit, it should be 1.5 inches. And I probably should take this in a couple different bites, but I'm going to try it all on one, see how it does. Let's go for it. I can't see it. Smoking. I think that might be a little hard on the bit. Alright, start over with a new bit and move the track over 1/2 inch. Take a couple shallow passes instead of one big deep pass on it, see how that does. I'll be back when I get all these cleaned out and the track's ready to go. Alright, 2 ladder bits later, I got the guides in. Now we need to put the rest of this together. So we got these things here, they go in the back of these. There's a slot here and this little plastic piece goes in this guide here. You pull that bolt out, slide this plastic piece in. The little nut goes in the track, upside down of course. If I get my fingers to work, there we go. So that goes in there. This bolt goes right back down to the center, find the center of your bolt, and screw it in. And that's connected. We'll do the same thing on the other side. And that's what this hole is back here for, so I can get these nuts in and out. The part right here, that guide part, you want to be able to take that out, get it out of the way when you're working on something that you don't want this whole thing in. Be able to take these things out of the way. And that goes there. So the other thing I found is this little stud right here that's supposed to go in there so you can guide your piece along the side of it when you start. It won't thread into the holes that they got there for it. I don't know why, but it just will not thread into the holes, so it's useless. I can't get the thing under to tap the end of the bolt because it's too short, so there's that. Back that off a little more. That actually hooks inside of that. And that's the micro adjustment for back and forth, front to back on there. Now if I can find the other one, there it is. Get it in the track. Put that in there. And that locks that down. And these are just the stops for on top up here. It's got an adjustment on the back here, back and forth with the little arrow there so you can adjust it wherever you need it to go. You lock that down, Lock that down. And there's one for each side.